Recording. Yeah.
Okay, now it is. All right, Brandon. Question number 1. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I just wanted you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how you got started in social media.
So I used to be a teacher. I did that for many years, or right around 8 to 9 years of doing that. I recently started doing web design full time, but before that, I was still kind of doing web design and social media marketing part time, but just kind of fill in the hours after work, that kind of stuff, because I like staying busy. And so also something I really enjoyed to do. Basically, what I've been doing recently, though, is I got to the point where I was able to work on it full time. I do mainly web design, but one thing that I like to offer for most of my clients is social media marketing, because then we're able to get people signed up and ready, or like actually advertise the websites rather than just take a website and throwing it out there and hoping that everyone goes to it. So the marketing side of things, it kind of ties together with the actual web design part. So I run Hirst Media. Basically, it's me mainly, but then I also work with a few different contractors depending on the type of project that we work on. We deal with a lot of actual like e-commerce websites. We deal with small businesses mainly. I like working with small business owners a lot, just due to the fact that they're normally really passionate about what they do. It's not necessarily a corporate feel. It's more of them wanting to do what they're really good at, and then where I can come in and do what I'm good at as far as the web design part goes as well. So a lot of small business owners tend to struggle with the marketing side of things because that's just not their forte. Where with me, I love marketing, I love the web design, so it kind of lets me do what I'm good at and lets them do what they're good at and continue on with that.
Yeah. What I find too is I struggle a lot just with the technical, as you've already seen tonight. I mean, so the small owner that is like making wreaths or doing paint night or whatever may be fabulous at that part, but we don't know anything about design on a website or media stuff, that kind of stuff. So it's good to get somebody who knows what they're doing to help us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so how do we know when we're a small business and we have like a side gig or a side hustle, how do we know when it's time to build a website versus having just like a Facebook business page?
So I always recommend having a website, even if you have just do most of your stuff on the Facebook page. Because if you think about it as Facebook, it's a platform, but you don't own the platform. It's something that they change constantly. And if you use Facebook more as a marketing platform to take the traffic from Facebook off and then send to your website, you'll always have that website. If Facebook changes their algorithm, you will still have your website though. Rather than if they change the algorithm to the point of the pages aren't showing up as much as they used to. So that was a big thing that a lot of business owners who just had Facebook pages, they're wondering, well, hey, I was getting a ton of engagement before, but now I'm getting very little. This is because Facebook wants you to pay to boost your posts and do that kind of stuff. So they changed the algorithm. They want to be more of a or more like friends talking rather than businesses just continue to market to them. So unless they're paying, of course. So I mean, having a website, it's your platform that you built, and anytime stuff changes or anything like that, you're gonna have it. So you're gonna have the website like more as the place where everyone gathers. But if you are smart and you use your social media channels to help guide the traffic and the type of people that want to go there to your website, it's going to help kind of have a consistent base there. So anytime people are looking for stuff that you do or anything like that, it's a good place for them to go straight to your website along those lines.
Okay.
And like, let's say if you're using a social media website and it gets shut down too, I mean, if that's where you put your entire business there, then
yeah. And what website, is there a website, like if somebody wants to try to do it themselves, is there one of the free website design places that you recommend over the others?
So I haven't really messed with a lot of the free stuff and all that, but honestly, WordPress is really easy to use and kind of get things going on it. There's a lot of different information out there. So it's a nice platform to start with. It is free, but you do have to pay for like hosting, that kind of stuff as well. And then you can pick out some kind of theme that ties in with it rather than having to go out and code everything yourself too.
Yeah. I think I've heard something about Wix, but everybody that I've heard on like the social media pages, like
Mhm.
WordPress better than Wix.
So Wix, I personally haven't worked with it a whole lot. I know people like Wix because it's easy to set something up real quick and do that. However, um, from like the people that I have talked to that have used it, they just aren't a fan of how it's basically, if you just want to throw up information, it's great. But if you want to start getting into the custom stuff or add different little features here and there, it can be a pain.
And I know that they say that they're free websites, but you mentioned the cost for like hosting and stuff. How much should people think one of those free websites would cost them in a year, let's say?
So, I mean, as far as for hosting that kind of stuff, WordPress, there's a lot of different options out there currently. I personally like GoDaddy's WordPress hosting for it. It's there's a lot of better hosts out there, but they do cost a little bit more. GoDaddy's is a little bit cheaper in comparison, and if you optimize the website accordingly, you can get a nice, decent website out there for it. A lot of people, what they don't like about GoDaddy though is if you have an issue, sometimes you have to wait on a call for 20 minutes to talk to a tech about it or something along those lines.
Okay.
Me personally, I rarely ever have to talk to it unless it's something on their end. And I mean, I've talked to them with maybe, I don't know, I think last time was like 4 or 5 months ago talking with someone. It was something where they had a server glitch and it was like everyone had an issue. It wasn't just the one website.
Okay. Um, let's see. And WooCommerce, because a lot of us in my circle sell things from their website and
Mm-hmm.
Facebook too, actually. And which do you recommend, WooCommerce or Shopify? And do
So
you
I like,
on your website, or
yeah, I'm sorry, say that again.
can you use Shopify on a website, or is it only for Facebook and vice versa with WooCommerce?
So Shopify is a website platform. It's a e-commerce style platform. It's like basically if you want to use Shopify, that's going to be your website. It's just their platform there. It's based off of Ruby rather than PHP. So WooCommerce is more of a platform that you can tie into a WordPress website. And it's just so like that's kind of like how most people who have a WordPress website, they use WooCommerce there. It's a leading plugin for e-commerce on WordPress. As far as Shopify and WooCommerce, which is better and all that, honestly, I really like the way Shopify's backend works. It's easy for people who aren't really familiar with it. However, they do have a high monthly rate as far as hosting the website. And then if you want to add any kind of little plugin or anything like that, most plugins have an extra monthly fee that go into it. So that bill starts raking up pretty bit or quite a bit. Where
Yeah.
WooCommerce, there's a lot of free plugins that you can tie into it. At first, it's not as user friendly on the like ordering and the products and that kind of stuff. But if you take a quick little class or anything like that, have someone show you how to go through and do that, like figure out where the different sections are in there, it's really easy to pick up. It's just not, like I said, it's not as friendly when you first start.
Yeah.
It's just like writing or trying to figure something else out. If anything, it's going to have some sort of learning curve for it.
Yeah. Okay. And what kind of stuff can we expect to learn from you in April? What are you going to be teaching us about?
So I'm going to go over like the basics on how to manage websites. I'm not going to show everyone how to go into the real in-depth like coding and building the websites from scratch and all that. I'll go into more of the basic style stuff. Setting up a basic website, applying a theme, making sure stuff's updated and secure. Just more of the stuff that a lot of business owners are going to need to know if they want to manage their own website.
Okay. And what other services do you provide, Brandon, besides just website building? Like if somebody's thinking about using you, what else can they expect?
So like what I normally do is I work with people getting a website built or updated. Most of the time it's better to build out the website because if it's been quite a few years and updates haven't been done, it's better to just kind of start from scratch and use the content that was already there to create a new website. And then I also work with like Facebook ads, Google ads, just to kind of get things off the ground and get people coming into it. I don't do a whole lot of organic, but we do offer it as a part as if someone doesn't really want to spend money on the ads. Melanie had a question, updating plugins and backups. So that was another thing I was going to get to with that. with updating different plugins and management services, I offer everyone a special different packages depending on what they have. They have an e-commerce store. We can do daily backups, even up to hourly backups if it's a high traffic e-commerce store. To the point of if there was any kind of virus, malfunction, or anything like that, I can pull up the last backup and then reboot it within 5 minutes and have it up and running again. So that's one of the nice things there. Just about, I'd say probably about 90% of all my clients that I've worked with, they've wanted to do some sort of yearly package to the point where it is one, it has a daily backups. Two, it's a host on server. We're able to get everything hosted for them. They don't have to deal with any of that. And then if there's any kind of updates or anything like that, they just have to shoot me an email and then I can get everything posted and or uploaded or fixed for them. So that's one of the nice things where it's more of a hands-off approach for them, to the point where they don't have to learn a new platform. They don't have to do any of that. And then one thing with all the websites I build is I take the website, I build it, and then it's theirs. It's not like they have to stick with my services. And when they move away from my services, they don't get to keep it. Where like if you have Wix or some of the free servers or that kind of stuff, you can't really transfer that to a new platform. You have to always stick with them. So like if you decided that you started learning some of the WordPress stuff and you want to be able to do it yourself, then you can then already help you transfer it over to your new host and your new stuff. That way you aren't losing anything and you paid for it, or you get what you paid for.
Yeah. I know that's what's so attractive to me. That's why, in case anybody doesn't know, Brandon is my website guy, because I'm not a technical person, and that's a big relief that I don't have to remember, I have to renew such and such plugin, and how do I do that, and where do I go, and what's my password, and all that stuff. Yeah. So that's a big peace of mind for me to know that you're the one who's backing everything up and making sure I don't lose any of my information.
Well, that too. And so there's some plugins that when they, like if you have some kind of error with a plugin and it's updating, or there's a server glitch or anything along those lines and as updating, it can crash the website. And then you're at the point where like, oh crap, what do I do now? And if you don't have someone who is backing it up or doing that kind of stuff for you, you then are left to figure out how to either one, restore backup, or two, try to figure out what crashed, or what plugin had an issue, everything along those lines. So I do weekly updates with plugins to make sure everything's updated. And if I know there's some kind of security issue with the plugin, that gets taken care of right away as well.
Yeah. And what's the best way to contact you, Brandon, if somebody wants to talk to you about using your services?
So they can either contact me on Facebook through Hirst Media, or Brandon Hirst. You can add me on Facebook, or you can go to bhirst.com. I do have kind of a freebie for anyone that is interested. It's called a website checklist. And what it does is if you're creating your own website, or you have a website and you aren't sure why the traffic's being converted to the point where like people are checking it out, but they aren't really buying anything or anything like that. What it does is it gives you this checklist to go through and say, okay, yeah, my website's doing this, but it could be used some more work in this area there to help kind of get that goal-oriented website out there and ready working for you.
That's pretty cool. So, yeah. That might be something. Is that something we could provide at the event, maybe? That checklist?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Great.
So I already planned on printing that one out for everyone at the event, but if anyone wants it before that, I can basically, if they just go to bhirst.com/list, they can download it from there.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about today, Brandon, about websites?
Yeah, that's the one, Melanie.
Thanks, Melanie.
Yeah. So about websites and all that, if they have any questions or they have some kind of concern or anything like that, feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to help. Sometimes if it's through Facebook Messenger, it takes a little bit to get back to everyone, but I normally check it at least every day or every other day. I sometimes get bombarded with messages, so just kind of keep in mind that I will get to you, just maybe not right then and there.
Yeah. You usually have a big stack of them from Sharon Blackwell.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, well, I don't have any other questions. Melanie, do you have any questions? She's my co-host today. Let's see. No, I don't, she said. So I do have, let me just ask you this. What do you think, with all the people that you've worked with so far, what do you find their number one struggle is with websites? What do you think?
Well, similar to what I was talking about in the beginning, it's people who don't really want to deal with the technical part of it. So when I can relieve them from that pain, right, they're really happy about it. So they rather just know that it's one, the website is optimized and it's working for them, and two, they can help bring in traffic. So they hate spending money on something that isn't necessarily right for their business. So one of the first things I always like to do is figure out what the goal is for the business and why they even want a website. Some people just want information to throw up there, but I don't know. I feel like a website shouldn't be just an expensive business card. It should be something that's working for you. So having a goal, like whether it's setting up more or more calls or more consultations or buying more products or a certain kind of product, if we're capturing email leads, just some kind of basic goal that we can take the website and kind of work it around that. It helps take it from that just an online business card to something that's working for you and helping to convert the traffic.
Yeah. And I just thought of another question about blogs. Can you put a blog on any website, and how important do you think a blog is to people's website?
So the nice thing about blogs is it helps with traffic as far as like ranking in search terms and that kind of stuff. So if you use a blog and you're trying to figure out, or like you're writing blogs to kind of showcase different keywords for Google search engines and that kind of stuff, that would be helpful. You can add a blog to any kind of website. There's having a content management system though. It's getting similar to WordPress, or even Shopify has a blog system in there that you can use. It's going to help kind of make it easier on you if it has like a text editor and all that kind of information. Anytime if you're working with just like straight up like HTML or anything like that, anytime you add or trying to add something to it, you're having to go into the code and add stuff and then trying to make sure everything's formatted. So when you use some kind of content management system, it makes your life a lot easier, that's why I use WordPress for most of the websites, and then allow my clients to use those, and I kind of walk them through how to use it too.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Anything else you want to add, Brandon?
Should be it. So like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, and we're really excited to have you speaking for us this year.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll be coming clear across the country to go over there. So.
Yeah. What time is it there? Like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock?
Yeah, 5:24.
Okay, well, you still got the rest of your evening now to play.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. It was good having you, and thanks for coming on.
Yep, thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Okay, let me figure out how to end.